which are in this pool here. So we've got our two 18-year-old ladies. One of them is this one that's shouting at me right now. She has just been greeted by her 2-year-old pup, Coral. And the other 2-year-old male is just on the bank over there, that's Stanley. The other 3 animals that live in here are all Lara and Bailey's offspring that range in age from 8 through to 5, and they're all male. So if you've been knocking around the park today, you will have noticed that I've had 3 girls up here and 4 boys down the bottom. The reason for that is our 2 lovely ladies are pregnant, so they're just not really fancying having the big boys around them. She makes a bit of a fuss. We keep her up here just for during the day, and then mix them during the evening, just to keep their mental stimulation up, and also to keep her nice and quiet. So these guys are pinnipeds. Pinnipeds in Latin means flat-footed, hence these big lovely flippers that the sea lions have got. Pinnipeds branches together a group of species. It branches together sea lions, seals and walrus. So give yourself a slap on the wrist if you've been calling these guys seals all day. These are not seals, these are sea lions. There are 2 really distinct differences if you were to just look at the animals and be able to tell them apart. And whilst Bailey's up, I'm going to use her. So if everyone wants to look at Bailey, she'll probably start screaming at you. If you want to have a look at the side of Bailey's head, Bailey has 2 tiny little external ear flaps that are conical in shape. The reason why they are conical in shape is when a sea lion dives and pressure is exerted, these conical ears are able to constrict, which means that no water goes into their ear canals. They also have the ability to shut off their nostrils so that no water can go up there, and their eyes obviously have to be wide open. Seals, they don't have these tiny little ears. Instead, they've got holes in the side of their head, which are protected with a thin membrane of skin, and then over the top of that with fur. So both animals have fur. Believe it or not, these guys are not made out of rubber. They've got a lot of fur to sea lions, and when they're completely dried out, a sea lion is bright blonde in colour, and the males have really tight curls all over their body. And that's exactly why they were referred to as sea lions and not seals, because their fur and their mane, is just like a lion's. So you can probably imagine the first people that discovered sea lions probably did think it was a legless lion, hence their name. So these guys are also what you call quadrupeds, meaning that they can tuck all 4 flippers directly underneath their body. If you have a look at their pectoral flippers, so the front ones, these guys, sea lions, have the pectoral flippers about the same size as your arm span. Seals, on the other hand, sit in a more downward movement, and their front flippers are about the same size as the palm of your hand, meaning that they've got to drag themselves along the floor. Seals tend to be a little bit larger, obviously not as large as walrus. California sea lions are one of the smallest species of sea lion. They're the 2nd smallest, only dwarfed by Galapagos sea lions. So California sea lions are currently regarded as least concern by the IUCN. So that means that there's not a massive conservation impact on these guys. So we don't really need to be breeding them in zoos currently to be able to put them back into the wild, because the wild population is currently stable, which is really nice. Unfortunately, there are lots and lots of marine mammals that come under lots of threats because they live in the sea. And that's all down to us. We unfortunately pollute the sea, we overfish it, which we come in direct competition with lots and lots of marine mammals. One of the main issues with sea lions is they get caught as bycatch. What that means is that when we're out fishing, when we're trawling the bottom of the sea, destroying it, these guys unfortunately get caught in those nets. They need their big lovely flippers to be able to swim at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour in the water. And when they are damaged in the nets, certainly their faces as well, it means that they're unable to hunt. So sea lions have also been known to swim through chemical disasters, so things like the oil spill that's just recently happened. It has the impact that it can blind marine mammals. Luckily for sea lions, these guys can naturally go blind in the wild because their whiskers are electromagnetic, meaning that a sea lion can naturally go blind and can still navigate food at 35 miles an hour by closing their eyes and just using their whiskers for direction. Their whiskers are just as sensitive as a cat's, and that means that they can navigate through wind and water exactly where the movement's coming from. So pretty impressive. These guys currently at Yorkshire Wildlife Park are kept as a breeding group. We don't do any shows with them here at the Wildlife Park. We don't really agree with the ethos behind them. I don't think I've ever seen a sea lion jumping through a hoop or balancing a ball on its nose in the wild. So what we do instead is we train ours for husbandry and veterinary procedures. So it's a lot less stress on me, a lot less stress on these guys, and a lot less stress on the vet as well. And the vet gets to keep all of his limbs. So I'll be hanging around here for the next 5-10 minutes. If you've got any more questions about our sea lion,